Every single time Arsenal seem to play a Premier League game, there seems to be a major controversial talking point. Now, I apologize, my match reaction is going out late. I've been in Brighton all day. I managed to watch majority of the game, and it's yet again another controversial refereeing decisions. Yes, you can't pull a player down when you're the last man. However, I don't see how the referee, the fourth official, and two linos at the time have not seen something that's clear and obvious. It's gone to VAR, and they've still apparently seen something clear and obvious. We didn't see it on the screen. There's so much to get into. We're going to talk about Saka as well. He wasn't there. And do Arsenal have a goal scoring problem? Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. And make sure you have subscribed. We are steamrolling our way towards 29,000. We just hit 28K. There's a hell of a lot to get through. And I'm going to be brutally honest. When I looked at that Arsenal lineup, I thought this Bournemouth side, look, they are no mugs. This Bournemouth side, they're a good team. You know, on another day, they would have got 3 points off of Chelsea. They played them. And they narrowly lost 1-0. A bit of magic off the bench from Jadon Sancho. This is the same Bournemouth side that went to Anfield and had something stupid like 19 shots, which is a stupid amount considering you're at Anfield. But this Arsenal team, I want to look at the lineup. We've got to talk about that front three because do Arsenal have enough firepower at the moment with their if Bukayo Saka is going to miss, I don't know how long he's out injured. I don't know how much longer Odegaard is out injured. You know, Raheem Sterling, etc., etc. But this was the lineup they went with: David Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Calafiori, Rice, Partey, Sterling, Mikel Merino, Leandro Trossard, and Havertz. Not the best Arsenal performance today by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think they were good enough. And I think you have to give huge, huge credit to Bournemouth. I think they got their game plan spot on. I think they were really good in their 1v1 battles. But 3 red cards for Arsenal already. Now, of course, there'll be people out there and say, look, you know, they can't be doing this, 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 and this. There has been so many games I've seen in the Premier League. So many games. And someone sent me, I think it was, I can't remember who tweeted it. But yeah, this picture here. Now, this is just in the last few seasons. And when we talk about consistency in the Premier League, just look at it. I don't know. I think someone tagged Terry in this. Concert on Saka, he's pulled him back. That in the laws of the game, that should be a red card, right? Laporte on Zaha, that should be a red card. It wasn't. Evans on Aubameyang a few years ago, you know, that should have been a red card and it wasn't. Now Saliba, I think it was Trossard. It was a hospital pass, right? It was an absolute hospital pass. Put Saliba in no man's land. Saliba cuts across him. When I first saw it, I thought a yellow card. In the balance of it, probably was the right decision. But then I didn't see it at the time. But I don't know who was playing him onside. Yes, you can say it's a red card, but if the linesman, right? If it's a red card for Saliba, but where is the clear and obvious error? Because I've watched it back probably on the Sky Sports angle probably 20 times, and I don't get what. Of course, they've got more cameras in VAR, but I don't get how they have looked at it when the linesman, the referee, and the fourth official at the time thought it was warranted of a yellow card. Right? VAR have, of course, got involved. But I thought VAR at the time are only supposed to get involved in red cards when they've already awarded a red card. We've seen many instances this season, last season, the season before that, where that exact same scenario has played out and the team have or haven't been carded. Now, I've just given you 3 examples that I've seen on Twitter. And in the same game against Manchester City, Doku kicks the ball away and it's no card. Now, I'm not saying Arsenal are crybabies. I'm not saying their fan base are crybabies. But the only example I can give is when it happens in another game, it's not necessarily, it's not given. Then whenever Arsenal seem to play, now whether this is because they're watched more, whether this is because they're on the TV more, whether it's because it's just Arsenal, maybe they're unfortunate, maybe it's, I don't know. But whenever it seems to happen to an Arsenal player, bam, 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 it's immediately a red card. Yes, it's a foul. Saliba has pulled him down. There is no question, there is no doubt, without hesitation, it's a foul. But what have VAR seen in that control room that the referees, all of us, have not seen on that replay? If the referee was convinced it was a red card, it would have been a red card in the first place, right? And of course, going down to 10 men on the 30th minute, it's another game where I believe if Arsenal have 11 men on the pitch, they come away with a 1 or a 2-0 victory. Now, of course, you know, they have to make some changes. Arsenal bring on Jakub Kiwior for Raheem Sterling. It's a completely different game then. You know, Bournemouth start to dominate. Bournemouth get more possession. Bournemouth have got more license to play because they've only got 11 men on the pitch. Bournemouth look a lot more confident. Arsenal still had majority of possession. Bournemouth have more shots on goal. You know, the crowd gets up. It's a night game. They're under the cosh, Arsenal. They get into half time, and it's all about what is the game plan. I thought Arsenal would get a draw. You know, they did really, really well. He brought on, I think, was it Martinelli come on for Trossard? Trossard had a huge, huge chance. Not Trossard, sorry. Martinelli had a huge, huge chance to make it 1-0. And I thought, yeah, he's probably going to bag it. He fluffs it. Then Ben White gets a yellow card for delaying the restart. Yet we've seen so many times throughout the Premier League. I think there was before this weekend or last weekend, there was only 4 yellow cards for delaying the restart. 3 are Arsenal players and 1 was Man United. I think that was 2 weeks ago. It might have changed now. And then Bournemouth take the lead, and you can take nothing away. You know, it was a well-worked set piece, and Arsenal was 10 men resistance. Cliver guides a ball low in from left, and Christie steps on the ball and fires it home, and it's an absolutely superb finish. As great as a goalkeeper as David Raya is, we got absolutely no chance. It flies in the top left corner. And then, of course, Arsenal are going to feel hard done by. Their heads drop. That they have a chance a few minutes later. Kepa makes a really, really good save. And then, of course, a day to forget if he David Raya. He brings down Evan Nilsson in the area, gives away the penalty, and then I think it was Cliver who scored the penalty, and that was basically it. Arsenal, they crash out. They're going to feel hard done by, of course. I don't really care about the result. I don't really care about Arsenal, but I just want consistency in this Premier League. Like this weekend alone, we've seen 2 red cards in the Villa Fulham game, a red card in the West Ham Spurs game, and a red card in the Arsenal Bournemouth game. Last weekend, we saw a red card in the Chelsea Nottingham Forest game. The weekend before that, we saw a red card in the Man United Spurs game. The weekend before that, we saw a red card in the Nottingham Forest and Brighton game, and then a red card in the Arsenal Man City game, as well as both managers in that game getting sent off. The week before that, we saw a red card in the Southampton Man United game. The weekend before that, there was Declan Rice sent off against Brighton. The weekend before that, there wasn't a red card. And the weekend before, the opening weekend of the Premier League, we saw a Newcastle player get sent off, and we saw an Everton player get sent off. I do not remember any time watching Premier League football there was this many red cards. Now, whether the referees have been told to be more strict, to be more ruthless on the players, I do not know. But at the same time, whenever an Arsenal player seems to do it, they're under the microscope, they're under the eyes, they're being watched. It's immediately a red card. It's a foul. Saliba, 100%, it is a foul. There is no question about it. Saliba gets in front and pulls his arm down. Absolutely zero debate on that foul. Whether there is a clear and obvious error, I don't see what the clear and obvious error is to make it from a yellow to a red card. I don't see what VAR have seen where for that to be a a card. You know, we've seen it so many times this season where there has been fouls go and against Arsenal. And Spurs have had it as well. Spurs have had a number of games in the last year or so where the like you think back to that game we played against Liverpool last year. You know, two red cards we had. Two red cards we had in the Chelsea game, two red cards in the Liverpool game, and then of course, you know, we break the duck. But the Liverpool red card, the Liverpool goal that was disallowed, should never have been disallowed. So on the balance of that, Liverpool probably would have won the game because they went 1-0 up early. We naturally would have come out against them, and then bang, before United, we you know, mistakes have cost Arsenal today 100%. Saliba, whoever played that pass, I think it was Leandro Trossard, that 100%, that is a huge hospital pass. You know, it's in a Saliba, he shouldn't have had the ball in the first place because it's a hospital pass. The second one, Saliba should have carried on and let him get a shot away at goal. Trust your goalkeeper, or try and shepherd him, you know, out wide more. You're giving the referee absolutely no. You're giving the referee no choice but to send him off. But I just want consistency in this league. I want consistency, and at the moment, it's consistently inconsistent. It's mind blowing at times. Arsenal need to score more goals. 100%, they need to score more goals. You know, they're without Saka today, without their main goal threat, without their main creative threat. Him himself has only scored 2 Premier League goals. This Arsenal team collectively in the league, I think, need to be scoring more. If you want to go out and you want to win a league title and you want to challenge in all fronts, you need to score more goals. You know, and it sounds crazy to say that because they've scored the third most amount of goals in the league, but you know, Arsenal's goal difference is now 4 behind Liverpool. It's 2 behind Manchester City, and both these teams play tomorrow. You know, their goal difference is below Spurs's, it's below Chelsea's. And we've seen titles won or lost on goal difference. I think they need to take their chances more. You know, if you look at Arsenal's previous results, as great as their defense is, you know, okay, 4 goals against Leicester, 1 against Spurs, 2 against Villa, 1 against Brighton. Now, of course, you can argue if they didn't have red cards in these games, you'd imagine that Arsenal probably would have won today. I honestly believe, I know obviously it's very easy for me to say, but I believe Arsenal, if they have 11 men on the pitch, they beat Bournemouth. If they had 11 men on the pitch against Brighton, 1-0 up at the time, I believe they beat them. And I believe when they played the Manchester City game, they come away with 3 points there. But Arsenal need to take a look at themselves today because one, they're getting too many sending offs, 3 red cards, and we're not even in November. He's not good enough if you want to win the league title. It's simply not good enough. You know, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think it was a red card? If you don't, I'd love to know your thoughts and your feelings. As of right now, I personally think Arsenal need to do more. I think Arteta, I think Arsenal play early next week, maybe Wednesday against Shakhtar. But, you know, Saliba now misses Liverpool, Newcastle, and Chelsea. That is absolutely horrendous from an Arsenal perspective. I'm not sure if their ban carries over to the Champions League. I don't think it does. Which, of course, means that they can play Saliba against Shakhtar Donetsk. But knowing the fact they've got Liverpool, Newcastle, and Chelsea coming up, you know, that is not good enough from an Arsenal perspective. That they 100% need to do more in these games. Whoever put Saliba in that position in the first place, absolute hospital pass. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you have subscribed, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. I am